Ladies, it's your time to shine with all things fabulous with First for Women on Afternoon Express. For insurance with a host of fabulous benefits, call 0861 11 18 44 or SMS FIRST to 49267.
Good afternoon, South Africa, and welcome to Afternoon Express. I'm Bonnie Booley.
Good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Borang Matiba live. Lovely to be back. It's a brand new week, a brand new month. Happy Women's Month, by the way, to all the fabulous women who are watching Afternoon.
Women's Month
hey,
to you.
gorgeous.
I know. A little fun fact. I'm wearing one of the pieces from the Fashion Week Gram.
Oh, yes. This past weekend, you and Jeannie were dazzling all over Cape Town.
Dazzling the front road.
Good. Now we're about to dazzle your TV screens right now for the next hour. It is a Motivation Monday, and today we're chatting about an issue that's very, very important in our country. Obviously, the HIV virus. On TV, on radio, newspapers, at school, wherever you are, it's always drummed in our heads. You know, we're always kind of updated with what's happening around the virus, how to protect yourself. But today we're chatting about something very, very important. Of course, the transmission of the disease from mother to child.
Yes,
yeah.
It's a very sensitive issue.
Absolutely,
So
and we've got a very important woman, Marianne Davies, who's here from, she's the Deputy Director from the Centre of Infectious Diseases at UCT. So we're going to unpack that more a little bit later.
Yeah, and we're also privileged to have in the loft today, performing for us later, singer-songwriter, premier singer-songwriter, Elvis Blue. So don't go away. And of course, if you want to chat to our guests, call us on 0839133728. And of course, communicate with us on social media, Twitter, @AfternoonTouch, #Afternoon Express, or comment on our Facebook page. But we're not alone. We've got another beaut in the kitchen.
Jay Dizzle.
Thank you, ladies. Also fresh off the ramp of Fashion Week. Thank you. And welcome to you. I'm Jeannie D, and I'm standing here with possibly one of the funniest women in the country. Welcome, Shimmy Isaacs. We are so happy to have you in the loft. You're going to be performing at the Cape Town Funny Festival as well.
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
Looking forward to that. We're going to be hearing about your journey a little bit later. But we're also joined in the kitchen by the fantastic, the nation's favourite chef and food stylist, Claire Stanley. Hello. What is cooking, baby?
Ooh, so we're doing a chicken schnitzel bao, which means buns. So chicken schnitzel buns. It's going to be delicious.
Delicious. Chicken buns. So remember, you can cook with us this evening. All you need to do is visit our website, afternoonexpress.co.za, and get our shopping list and get the recipe and cook with us today. But first, we have Elvis Blue with Panang on the couch. Hi, Elvis.
Thank you so much, Jay Dizzle. Indeed, we do have Elvis Blue in the loft. Very excited. He was born and raised in Johannesburg, and his musical career started when he was still in high school. We would bask on the streets of the city of gold for extra pocket money. Now, with 4 solo albums behind his name, the latest Erens in the Middel van Nerens being released this year. Joining us on the couch is SAMA award-winning platinum-selling singer-songwriter Elvis Blue. Lovely to see you.
It's nice to be here. It's kind of nervous excitement because there are a lot of very beautiful women
I
here.
know, right?
And I'm the only guy.
But you're the only guy at home as well, because you have 2 little girls as well, so you know how it feels.
I've got 2 little girls. My mother-in-law stays with us, and we have a dog who's not male. So I'm vastly outnumbered, so I'm used to it, but it's still very nice to be here with you guys.
I know, you have quite a good life. You're always surrounded by fabulous women. But I'm so happy that you're here, very excited. Your second Afrikaans album is coming out. First single just dropped, Hemel. How do you get the inspiration of creating more music every single time?
You know, I think everyone's made for something, you know. So I've always loved writing, and I write quite a lot. So inspiration comes from different places, but usually it's just something. Hopefully you get to grab it out of the air, and hopefully you get to pin it down and write something beautiful.
And talking about somewhere, were you in the middle of nowhere when you wrote this album?
Do you know what we actually did? Okay, so Erens in the Middel van Nerens, it means being in the middle of nowhere, right? We actually took a road trip from Cape Town to Johannesburg, and we rented one of those little camper vans, and we took 8 days, and we cruised all along. Not the main roads. We stayed off the N1, and we went to all these little peculiar little spots. Wow. We took pictures. I finished writing the album. I put all the songs together, and of course, you know, Erens in the Middel van Nerens. You know, I think many people have felt that they've been there in their lives. You know, and in the last 2 years, you know, when I felt that way, I was writing, and that's basically where the title comes from.
But Elvis, you know, when all these songs come together and you've got this package in front of you, how do you decide? Because it's very important and it defines your entire album. Which single you go with first? This time around, you chose Himmel.
I have no idea.
You just no
I
clue.
usually ask clever people like my wife, because she's got a great ear, you know. So I ask clever people to listen. I just try and write as much material as possible, and then, you know, who knows what happens with it.
And talking about your wife and your two beautiful daughters, I mean, we followed your life on Top Billing. We've seen them grow up. And thank you so much for allowing us into your private space. But how do you separate? Where do you get the time to be with your little girls, with your wife? Are they very involved with you? Did they travel while you were writing this album?
No. Ugh, you know, it's quite difficult, you know, to travel with kids.
Yeah.
And also, taking your kids out of routine all the time, you know, parents would know routine is quite an important thing. So we still stay in George, and basically try to make sure that when I'm in George, when I'm at home, that we really are at home. And when I'm on the road, that I'm doing my thing, but that you focus your energies where they need to be focused, you know.
Absolutely. I mean, looking at them is just so heartwarming. But there's another heartwarming story behind the name Elvis Blue. Because it's not your real name.
No.
Your real name is Jan. But can you share with us that story? I've heard it, but I know there are a couple of people that are watching that have never heard it before. And I absolutely love it.
Look, my real name's Jan Wichendijk, which isn't nearly as rock and roll as
But it's
Elvis
fabulous
Blue.
still.
It's very nice. I'm proud of it. I'm proud of it. But I actually made some albums with that name, and no one bought them.
No.
I'm serious. But when I was 29 years old, actually when I was 26, my wife and I, we moved to George. And my wife got a job in George at this children's home, which was connected to a hospice. And I would sometimes go and pick her up from work. And then I'd have my guitar, and then I'd pop into the hospice and play a few songs. And I met this youngster there whose name was Elvis Blue. And I would play some music, and he was always like saying that he wanted to be a keyboard player really badly, you know. And he was 8 or 9 years old when I met him. And he always had a little giggle at me because I was trying to be a well-known musician.
Yeah.
And he always said Jan Wichendijk was just not going to work.
Cool.
It wasn't going to work.
And now you've exploded in some platinum, you know, albums later. But is there a difference? And I want to ask, I mean, you flow quite easily between English and Afrikaans music, English and Afrikaans albums and hits. Is there a difference between the two audiences?
Yes, man. Bonang, if I was able to sing in Zulu or Xhosa, I probably would, you know.
How come?
No, man, I just think in a country with as many official languages as ours, why should artists be limited to singing in one specific language, you know? So I love, Afrikaans is my mother tongue, but I also love writing in English, and I enjoy doing both.
Yeah. And talking about writing, in 2012, you spent quite a lot of time overseas with other singer-songwriters and people who've written for, the likes of megastars. Is Janet Jackson?
Yeah, man.
Christina Aguilera as well. You were part of that group, Jessica Simpson as well. And from then on, in that time that you spent with the songwriters, you created a hit.
Yeah, I love writing with other people. And so, you know, I always think, you know, in Afrikaans there's the saying, wie nie waag nie wen nie. You know, if you don't take risks, nothing will happen.
True.
So some of the writers I really love, I emailed them. And I said, hey, can I come over? And they were just like, come over. And before I knew it, I was writing with some of my favorite songwriters. And on many of my English albums, lots of the songs were co-writes with these people. So I find myself going over quite often these days.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what is next for you? Your second Afrikaans album, your first single has dropped. What is next from Elvis Blue? What can we expect from you?
Yeah, I think since I was a young boy, my biggest dreams have always been just to play. And that's what I'm doing right now. I'm touring and I'm playing. This new album is out, Erens in Middel van Nerens, and I'm working on a new English album which would come out in 2016. But I'm pretty much doing exactly what I love, and I'm going to work hard to try and do that for many, many more years.
And you're here, you're going to be performing for the Loft. In the Loft, which song are you going to do for us?
I think I'll do this new single. It's called The Himmel.
All right, I can't wait for that. Very exciting. If you have any questions for Elvis, then don't hesitate to call us 083 913 3728. And also a reminder to go out and get your 50 Rand of SA's #1 foundation just by purchasing Revlon Color Stay Foundation now in July at any leading retail and pharmacy stores nationwide. Take a selfie with with the product, and you and your +1, your bestie or your lover, could win a 24 hours experience in my life. Hanging out here on set, enjoying the city life and, you know, dining at my favorite restaurants, staying at my favorite hotel and just turning love on. So take those pictures, all right, and make sure that you hashtag us. Use our official Instagram, well, Twitter name @Afternoon Chat, #Foundation Fridays, #LoveIsOn, and post them now also on our Facebook page, Afternoon Express. This amazing prize is valued at 25,000 rands and includes an all-expenses paid trip to Cape Town for 2, dinner at an A-list restaurant, plus a 10,000 rand shopping spree. So get tweeting right now, just like some of these awesome viewers have already done. And don't forget those hashtags, all right? Don't go anywhere. After the break, Jeannie makes some chicken schnitzel buns, and we chat to Cape Town comedian Shimmy Isaacs. We'll be back straight after this.
Welcome back to Afternoon Express, right here on SABC3. So we're about to start cooking, and if you want to cook with us, be sure to visit our website, afternoonexpress.co.za, and get our recipe and all of our shopping lists. Claire, how do we get started?
Okay, so we've got a whole lot of flour here, probably about 500 grams, and we're just going to make a little well over here, and in goes our wet ingredients. So I'm going to ask you to pour those together. So we've got some water,
what are our wet
we've got some
ingredients?
milk, we've got a little bit of vinegar and a little bit of oil. So to make our life easy, let's just pour it all together.
Oh, yeah. Must I pour the milk into that?
You can indeed. So don't be scared. The vinegar and the milk, if you let it sit for a little while, it's actually going to split and almost make a little bit of a buttermilk, but that's fine.
Okay.
You're going to be fine. What we've got here is yeast, a little bit of sugar, and some warm water, and we've just let that activate, and you can see it's kind of frothy and bubbling. We need that to get our dough going. So into the middle first, let's get our yeast in there, and then in goes the wet ingredients. So go for... and then a little bit of sugar, probably about a tablespoon, and then I'm going to mix while you pour.
Okay.
You can just go for it.
That's
yeah,
fine.
Go for it. I'm going to say just to stop before you get to the end, because we've made bread on the show before, and you want to just be careful when it comes to the humidity and the specific day and the amount of liquid you're going to be adding. So go for more. Go wild. Okay, not that wild. Okay.
Not that wild. You can already see this is starting to separate.
Yeah, you can see it's not so pretty. Don't be scared. It's just a little bit of buttermilk happening in there. Honestly, you can add it separately, but it's just going to make your life easier just to mix it all together. Okay, then keep mixing, and at some point you're going to get to a bit of a dough, and then you're going to pop that out onto the table and just start kneading that together. It forms a ball. Do you want to add the rest of that in there?
Yeah, I do. Oh.
Okay,
it's lumpy and bumpy.
Get mixing, and then that's going to form a ball. Pop it out onto the table, onto a floured surface, clean floured surface, and you start kneading it. 10 minutes. You're going to need at least 10 minutes to knead that. It really has to get a soft, smooth dough to get going.
Exactly. Then it's really like that.
So then, plastic wrap goes over that into a warm place just to prove up. Hour and a half, roughly double in size, and it ends up like this one over here that we have on the left. So take that off. You can see it's nice and. The texture is nice and soft, and we're going to take a little bit of our extra flour over here that I put all over you.
Yeah? Don't worry about me.
You're messy in the kitchen.
I like a lot of dough.
Over here. Okay, let's just clean this off, and we can use that to scrape out our dough.
Okay.
We've just oiled the bowl a little bit just to stop it from sticking.
And these are for your buns. How are these buns different to like a traditional pita bread?
Okay, so this is quite like it's a Chinese steamed bun. So you can put anything in a steamed bun. The traditional word is bao. You can put anything in it. You can fill it. You can have it just as it is, or you can do what we're doing. We're folding it and then filling it with stuff. So you don't actually cook it filled. You fill it afterwards.
Okay.
Which we're going to fill with those delicious crumbed chicken schnitzels. I battled to say that word.
That's right. I was looking at you. Schnitzel.
You were just waiting for me to say that because earlier I was scared to talk about it.
Yeah, obviously Woolworths has done half the job for us.
Absolutely.
Thankfully.
So that you can actually pop out onto the tray, and we're going to get that in the oven. It's quick. You just effectively warm it up for 20 minutes just to kind of get the crumb nice and crunchy.
Delicious. I love these.
So we've got our dough here. We're just going to roll it up like this, and then that rolls out. And you're just going to make a nice, kind of like a sausage here, and then chop it into, carefully not to cut the table. If your knife is sticking, just sprinkle a little bit of flour on there, and then you're going to keep doing that for all your dough. Create a little ball like this over here. You kind of fold up the edges, round it off, and just let that sit for about 5 minutes just to relax a little bit. Because
You
when
did
you're
that quite
working,
quickly. You're going to have to fold that little thing again because that looked quite technical.
okay, so when you're working with dough, so you just pat it all out like that, and you're just tucking in the edges, really. Tuck, 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 tuck. And when you say tuck, every time it helps. It makes it more fun. And then that little ball over there. And then you end up with these guys who have rested and relaxed for about 5 minutes. You can see they're doubled up a little bit in size.
Yeah.
That one's stuck, so we'll forget about that one for now.
Is that because you put the yeast in there, so they've risen a bit?
Exactly, yeah.
Okay.
When you work dough, all the gluten kind of stiffens up, so you need to let it relax and rest out a little bit. So then we've got this, and this is going to be the shape of our bao, our bun. You end up with a semicircle like that. Brush that with some olive oil, and then you just take a little bit of you take a chopstick, and then you fold it over like that and kind of press it down, and then you pull it out, and then that stays again and rests and proofs for about another half an hour, just till it doubles up in size, and then we chuck it into the steamer. So we're going to carry on. I'm going to get going on this. As you can see, it takes a little bit of time.
This do I need to put in the stove?
That goes into the oven.
Okay, fantastic. So in the meantime, though, Bonnie's standing by on the couch with our next guest.
Thank you, Jeannie. Joining us on the couch is a remarkable, multiple award-winning woman and an example of breaking through against all odds by sheer determination and focusing on one's passion. She's a comedian, an actor, a writer and a producer all the way from Worcester in the Western Cape. It's Shimmy Isaacs. Welcome to the Loft, Shimmy.
Hey, girl.
I laughed so hard at the Funny Festival. You were so hilarious.
Oh, thank you so much.
Oh my gosh, and I loved your shoes, as always. I love your shoes right now.
I know, that's the one thing you and I have in common is shoes.
Definitely.
You know, I remember every time we do work together, we're like, girl, we gotta get some shoes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so where do I start? Worcester.
Yes.
You came to Cape Town armed with a matric certificate and humble beginnings.
Pretty much.
But through sheer determination, you made it. Tell us about the early days.
Let me say I'm still making it.
You're still making it?
Yeah, in this industry, you don't ever
You don't
stop.
arrive, no, you
don't
never
arrive. Yeah, you're still going, you're
Yeah,
still
you're
going.
still
It was very, very simple, Bonnie. I had a dream. I had a dream and I had a goal. And I knew what I wanted and I had a passion. And I think if you have those things, then nothing can really stand in one's way, you know? And of course I had to start, you know, washing windows here and there. I was working at a French vintage store down in Cape Town, Long Street.
Okay.
And I was only 21 when I was awarded my scholarship, you know.
Oh my gosh.
So
your scholarship to AFTA, that
to
is.
AFTA, that
Okay.
is. So there was a chunk of my life where I really had the time to figure out who I was.
Yes.
You know, and really deal with myself.
Yeah.
At that young age. And by the time that I did get my scholarship, I knew exactly what I needed to do with it. You know, because I was ready. I think sometimes in life we want things and you know, we look at our circumstances and we go, but why?
Yes.
But I knew that I was probably not ready at 17 going into a university like AFTA, where I was at 21.
Let's talk about what got you to being ready. You come from Worcester, a little town outside of Cape Town. What's it like there? Tell us about it.
Oh, it's colourful.
Because we've got graphics of it as well.
Oh,
so you can see.
That is where I grew up. I come from the flats.
Wow.
And then we moved across into the suburb area.
Okay.
Yeah. That's my mom's house. You guys got a glimpse of that.
Right.
But the Pink River View Flats is where my principles were installed in me.
Okay. Why? What went down in the flats?
I lived with my granny and my grandfather. We played. It was probably one of the most happiest times in my life as a child. We didn't have much, but I didn't know that because, you know, people throw words like poverty around. I never felt poor.
You never felt
I never felt poor. I mean, you know, playing in the sand and wanting to taste the sand was pretty normal to me. I just thought I had a calcium problem. You know?
Yeah. And I'm sure there were a lot of interesting characters in the area because it inspires a lot of your comedy.
Absolutely, and they're still there.
Yeah.
They're still there. It is, I think, where I found an appreciation for who I was. You know, I always knew I was slightly different from the kids in the flats because I didn't sound like them, and I went to a different Model C school. You know, and so coming home and then having to adapt to that identity.
Oh yeah, I know what that's all about. I know all about
having
that.
to adapt to that identity.
And just to fit in as well.
Absolutely.
To not feel like you're isolated. And then after New York.
Yeah.
How did you end up in New York?
Bruh.
And what did the Americans think of you?
It was very easy. At the time, I was also in a relationship with somebody that was from the United States. So it was very easy when my partner relocated back to New York. I followed. But I also followed with a purpose. Because when I left, my mom said to me at the airport, please come home with a CV. I didn't know what she meant by that, you know.
My mom is still hoping for one of those.
And it hit me that she wanted me to come back with something knowledgeable, not just a picture.
Yeah, with something of substance.
Absolutely. So the money that I'd saved during that time and then moving to New York, staying with my partner, I decided that I was going to invest in myself once again.
Awesome.
I was going to invest in myself.
And obviously
once again.
education is very important to you because you're now studying a master's.
Yes.
What role does it play even in entertainment, on stage, acting, comedy, writing, all these amazing things that you do?
You know, why for me it is absolutely important is because very early on I said to myself, I wasn't just going to be another black face on stage and be funny.
Wow.
I was not going to be that. And so for me, my education and my accolades that I accumulate over the years is absolutely important. So when I walk into any kind of audition, I walk with a different type of confidence. I am able to talk the lingo, baby, you know. Because let's face it, as actors, it's not enough to act. It is important to understand the business of entertainment.
Right.
It's really important to understand that I'm a brand and that I'm a product.
And I always say it's important to build something that's going to outlive the fame.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Awesome. So what can people expect at the Funny Festival?
Honesty.
Honesty.
That's the one thing they can expect. They can expect some real honesty from Shimmy Isaacs. But they can also just expect, you know, to embrace aspects of their lives that I think we as South Africans
try to run away from.
Always
Have you gotten any
shameful.
backlash for some of your jokes or your humour? Because it's quite, I mean, it's on the nose here and it's very exposing. Have people come to you and said, no, Shimmy, that wasn't cool?
No, funny enough, somebody actually said to me, oh yeah, you use the word white quite a lot. And I had to explain, well, you know, my material is culturally very specific. Okay, and so when we as comics use the term white, coloured or black, we're really not talking about race other than talking about culture, you know, and when you are specific to the culture that you speak of, you kind of have to call them on it. You know, because let's face it.
Yeah, we're also trying to paint a picture of a particular worldview.
Absolutely, absolutely. And my material is really specific.
Yes.
And I have to say certain things in order to put you into that
world.
That world. Yeah.
Well, let me just say you are amazing at creating that world. Also because you're an actress. You're
Thank you.
An amazing actress.
Thank
and I
you
loved
so
working
much.
with you on Traffic.
I know.
Yeah.
I was totally different.
You were just
my
that
hair was
corrupt
blow
warden.
dried. I was big and
Awesome. Thank you so much, Shimmy. But you're not going anywhere. We're going to feed you later, as we love to do.
Thanks, Bond.
Awesome. Remember, if you're in Cape Town, you can catch Shimmy Isaacs live at the Cape Town Funny Festival at the Baxter Theatre. The show runs until the 16th of August and is jam-packed with laughs from local and international acts. And on a side note, we have very exciting news to announce today. Are you interested in a beautiful home, beautiful interiors and trend-setting design? Well, Winner Home is building up to its second season. South Africa's most popular reality design and decor show is back. It's going to be bigger and bolder than last year with more grueling challenges and will raise the bar on South African interior design. Winner Home is looking for the best and brightest up-and-coming designers in South Africa to decorate this year's grand prize home. And if you're an aspiring interior designer, then come to Decorex and 100% Design at Gallagher Estate between the 6th and the 10th of August to enter and meet the team. The first 100 entrants per day who arrive with a completed entry form will be given free entrance. So go to privateproperty.co.za afternoonexpress.co.za/winner home to get the entry form. And remember, bring it filled out to get your free ticket to the expo. Or if you're not able to make it to Gallagher Estate, then you just simply enter online. But whatever you do, do it soon because entries close on the 10th of August. We'll be right back.
Express yourself. Express yourself.
Welcome back to Afternoon Express, back in the kitchen and ready to prepare our delicious buns with the chicken. Claire, our next phase, I think this looks like we're going to
Okay, so
to
there's
start
a lot
stuffing.
going on over here, but what we've done is we've taken the chicken schnitzel out the... It's so embarrassing, I can't say it.
That's your word. Everyone
It's
has
totally
one.
my word. We've taken it out the oven, we've just chopped it up, so nothing special there. Our buns that we've steamed over here, you can see too, chilling in there. It's a little bit hot.
Exactly.
Over there. Okay, so that's just in the steamer there. If you don't have one of these, there's all sorts of fabulous and weird and wonderful ways to create your own steamer online. Go ahead and look and you'll find anything.
Okay, but how does that one work? You just boil water and then it'll
So you've
steam
got water
through the
bubbling
bam-
at the bottom here, and then you've soaked the bamboo steamer because it can actually burn, really can burn. And then you just pop the bowl into here, and there's 2 levels,
Okay.
and it steams. You can take a wok, and you put almost like a wire grid on the bottom, a plate on top, and you can put your bowl on there as well. There's many ways that you can actually create a steamer without having one of these, but it's a fabulous investment. It's
And then
fantastic.
these come out
then
looking
this.
amazingly.
How cool is
They're
that?
so squishy and
It's
puffy.
kind of a strange concept to get your head around, but it really is just a steamed bun. It's bread. It's bread steamed. It's
Great.
delicious. Okay,
Okay.
so while I get making our fantastically tangy slaw that's going to go with that, a really great, you almost need something fresh and light to kind of complement the crumbed chicken breast, and then the bun goes really well, and then a good hot sauce. So you can start stuffing the buns. You literally just take some of the chicken and fill. This is what we spoke about earlier. So these are effectively naked bows. There's nothing in them. That's really what they're called. And then you
Okay.
fill them and stuff them with different
that?
fillings. Yeah, a great one is like
little
also
bit more.
char siu bao, which is your barbecue pork bun. It's amazing. So you do that, and then, oh, you're way ahead of me over here. I'm getting all excited
Yeah.
about the bun. Then goes our carrot. So we've literally just grated. This is for our slaw. Then some fantastic spring onions, which I love. We've just sliced those up into there. And then some Savoy cabbage, just a different variety
love
of
Savoy
cabbage.
cabbage.
Looks so cool, but you can use anything. You can use any cabbage you want, whatever's available. Then some coriander, love coriander. If you don't have to pop it in there.
But you really should.
But you really should. Then some red onions. Red onions also just work so fabulously
It's a
with
great
this.
looking slaw.
How fantastic. Then, my personal favorite is some limes. So good lime juice in there. Squeeze it in there. Let's go for a whole lime. And then, typical slaw is just your mayonnaise. I like to add plain yogurt. Just to kind of cut the richness
Really?
of the mayo. So like 1 part mayo, 2 parts yogurt.
Okay,
And then that
delicious.
really just sort of helps I find it too tangy and too rich with all mayonnaise. So there goes our mayo. So that's about 2 or 3 tablespoons. It looks like a lot, but there is a lot of slaw that we got going there. And then just in goes our yogurt. And then we're just gonna mix that up. Let's get going on that. How are you doing over there? Winning?
I mean, you've made a lot of these little buns.
a lot of people in the
No
loft today.
one's
It's a
going
thing.
hungry in this loft today, that's for sure.
Okay, just a good mix of this. You want to get it all nice and coated. And that's what we're looking for. And then I'm going to try and get some of this. Look at my silver service skills over here.
That was brilliant. Did you go to hotel school or something?
And then that goes into there like that. And then lastly, like I said, some hot sauce. Some of my favorite. Oh, I think you might need to open the lid there for me. There we go.
Done.
Some sriracha, which really is the king of all hot sauces.
Oh,
and that's
delish.
I'm going to just pop it over there. Our table is clean, just so that you can see what's happening, and then a little bit more over here. And then we're just going to finish those up.
Exactly. Well, we've got 2 more to go. Oh, this is fantastic. Remember to visit our website, afternoonexpress.co.za, for the recipes and, of course, all of our ingredients
and
shopping lists, and the know-how of how to make all of this delicious, delicious stuff. We're standing by now. We've got Bonnie and Boland on the couch.
Thank you so much, Jeannie. Concentrate there, darling. Keep it together, right? Right? Don't lose the words. But we heard the heartwarming tale of the little HIV-positive boy Elvis Blue befriended, who tragically died of AIDS. Now, in South Africa, according to UNICEF, around 300,000 children are born to HIV-infected mothers each year. And close to half of all orphans in the country have lost their parents to HIV/AIDS-related diseases, and mother-to-child transmission is still a huge cause of infant and child mortality. Now, joining me and us on the couch to educate us a little bit more about this issue is Deputy Director of the Centre for Infectious Diseases at UCT, Dr. Mary Ann Davies.
Welcome to the Love, Marianne. Great to have you.
Hi, thanks for having me here.
you very
It's
much,
a
Doctor.
great opportunity to talk about this.
Awesome. So how does mother-to-child HIV transmission actually happen?
Well, HIV is a virus. I think many people know that, and it's found in blood and in body fluids, and there are three main times when it can be passed from a mom to her baby. The most important is in late pregnancy and actually during childbirth itself, and we think that about half of all transmission happens at that time. And then HIV does go into breast milk, and so babies can be infected when they are breastfed. And how much that happens depends a little bit on how long the baby is breastfed for, but it can be up to 40% of transmission can happen during breastfeeding if a baby is breastfed for a long period, for example, up to 2 years. And then the third way, which is less common, is actually during early pregnancy. And we think that only happens in about 10 to 15%, or only about 10 to 15% of transmission happens during pregnancy, before late pregnancy. And that usually only happens when the level of the virus in the mom's blood is very high, and then the virus can actually cross the placenta and infect the baby.
But, Doctor, are there any interventions when it comes to, reducing or preventing the transmission from an HIV-positive mom to an unborn baby?
Yeah, so we're very lucky that there are actually very, very good effective interventions. And the single most important, the simplest and the most effective intervention is for the mom to take ARVs from as early as possible in her pregnancy throughout the breastfeeding period and, in fact, for the rest of her life. I think most people know that ARVs are short for antiretrovirals. And the reason that they're so effective in preventing transmission is that they stop the virus from multiplying in the mother's body, and so they lower the levels of the virus substantially. And when the level of the virus is low in the mother's body, the chance of her passing it on to her baby is exceptionally low. And we can really get down to levels as low as about 2% transmission if women are on antiretrovirals. So what we do in South Africa is that the first time that a pregnant woman comes to see her doctor or goes to the clinic when she's pregnant, she should be offered an HIV test. And if she's found to be HIV positive, she should be offered antiretrovirals from the get-go.
Right.
And what's used is actually not one medicine, but 3 different medicines which are combined into a single tablet. And those need to be taken as the one tablet once a day from the start of a pregnancy or as early as possible throughout the pregnancy, during delivery and through breastfeeding. And then what we also do is, because the time of delivery is such a high-risk time, is that in the newborn baby, we also give antiretrovirals to the newborn baby for just a short period. It depends a little bit on what the risks are for the baby. So between 6 and 12 weeks, it's usually only one drug that's given to the baby, sometimes 2.
Do you do normal, childbirth, or you do C-sections, or, once you discover that the mother is HIV positive, do you continue as?
So in women who are on antiretrovirals and their virus is suppressed, the risk of transmission at delivery is so low that we do use normal childbirth. There is some preventive benefit of caesarean section, but the additional benefit in a woman with suppressed virus is so little. And a caesarean section is a big operation, and it's got its own risks.
What has been the response rate from women and how they take their medication and their willingness to take their medication?
So overall, it's been really very good. And we find that most women want to be tested for HIV in their pregnancy, and most women do start taking antiretrovirals and take them throughout their pregnancy. And we've actually managed to bring transmission in South Africa down dramatically. In the absence of any intervention, we expect about 1 in 3 babies of HIV-infected moms to transmit the virus to their baby. But we've managed to bring transmission down to about 5% in South Africa, which is probably the single biggest HIV prevention success story we've had in this country. And I think we can be very, very thankful that we have such good interventions available. And it's really a time for us not to be complacent, but we can actually start thinking about an era where we don't see any more HIV-infected babies, and they're becoming a rarity. And certainly as a doctor, I've been working with children with HIV for about 20 years, which makes me feel very old. And I've seen the change, and it's dramatic. From a situation where our hospitals and our clinics were really
proactive,
full of children with HIV, we now have a situation where it is much, much, much less common.
That is so lovely to hear, Doctor. But you're not going anywhere. You're still going to be in the loft because we've got so many questions. I still have about 3 or 4 in my head that I really want to ask you. But make sure you don't go anywhere, because after the break, we'll continue the conversation. And if you have any questions for our guests or Dr. Davies, then pick up your phone right now and call us, please. 083-913-3728. And a reminder to enter our Go Green SMS competition. You have until midnight tonight to answer last week's questions. All the details are available on our website, afternoonexpress.co.za. Don't move. We'll be back right here on SABC3.
The Afternoon Express team is going green. Join us every Tuesday at 4 p.m. until September as we bring you the most innovative trends in sustainable fashion, food, decor and design, as well as handy tips to help you reduce your carbon footprint.
Answer our Go Green question every Tuesday and stand a chance to win a R1,000 Woolies gift card every week.
Plus, simply by entering, you also go into the big draw for the ultimate grand prize worth over R500,000.
Including a dream sustainable kitchen makeover from Cordev, fitted with Bosch appliances with R300,000. Also, up to R250,000 worth of home upgrades so you can live off the grid. Plus, food and homeware from Woolworths valued at R75,000. And a R25,000 towards a school of your choice with My School.
So go big, go green with Afternoon Express every Tuesday at 4 p.m. to win these amazing prizes.
Willis and I collaborating to raise R100 million through the My School program. Are you with us?
Welcome back to Afternoon Express here on SABC3. We're back on the couch with Shimmy, Elvis and Dr. Davis. Elvis, you actually have a very heartwarming story about a little boy that you befriended.
Yeah, so this was this youngster named Elvis Blue. So he was in the hospice where my wife was working.
Yes.
And I would play music for him and he'd have a giggle about my real name, Jan Wogendijk.
I'd also have a giggle about that.
And we always said that we'd change his name, we'd make it Elvis Blue, and we both thought that that would be quite cool. And about 2 years after I met him, he passed away. He was HIV positive from birth. And about a year after that, I was standing in the queue to do Idols. Thinking that Jan Wogendijk wasn't going to cut it.
Yeah, that was, I don't quite think
No, I don't think, no. Elvis has a bit of a thing
You know,
to
but
it.
let me tell you something. Yeah, look, it could also have backfired because with the moment you introduce yourself, hi, I'm Elvis, then they're like,
oh, is it?
Yeah. And then Elvis like sings in Afrikaans? Okay.
But quite amazing how something like that could have quite a large impact, meeting someone like that.
Gosh.
You know, you don't know at the time. It's just meeting someone in a little room where no one sees.
Yes.
And then ultimately something like that could have a massive impact on your life.
On your life.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
You know, Doctor, with that said, realistically, in our lifetime, will the virus, are there any, will it ever be eradicated? Will there ever be a cure, do you
And are
think?
we winning this fight in South Africa?
So I think HIV is such a complicated topic that it's hard to answer quickly, are we winning the fight? There are a lot of, in a sense, there are a lot of battles that make up a big war, and we need to keep on at all the battles. We, in terms of mother-to-child transmission, as I've said, we've made enormous achievements, and people like the World Health Organization talk about something called virtual elimination of mother-to-child transmission. We're probably never going to get rid of it completely, But if we can keep our levels at less than 5%, then we would qualify for being a country that has virtually eliminated mother-to-child transmission. In terms of adult HIV, I think the number of new infections, which we call HIV incidence, is still much higher than we would like to see, and all the messaging around prevention of adult HIV, positive prevention, getting adults onto treatment, which reduces their risk of transmitting to uninfected partners, and safe sex are really important. And we would really like to work towards lowering the incidence in adults. And interestingly, that's also important in lowering the incidence in babies, because the fewer adults that you have that are becoming infected, the fewer babies that you will have becoming infected.
Back to our earlier question about intervention methods. Is feeding your child formula versus breastfeeding something that we need to talk about?
It's a very important topic to talk about, and there's been a lot of controversy and a lot of discussion about it. And a lot of people say, well, if breastfeeding is a risk, perhaps we should avoid breastfeeding altogether. But there have been very good studies done in South Africa that show that in a mother who is on antiretrovirals and whose virus is suppressed, it is actually safer for her to breastfeed her child than to avoid breastfeeding in most settings. We know that breast milk is really good stuff, and babies who are not breastfed are at risk of getting other infections like diarrhea and pneumonia, and at risk of being malnourished. And so overall, it is better for babies to be breastfed, but importantly, for the mother to continue taking her antiretrovirals throughout breastfeeding, and that can be really difficult.
Can you
It's
imagine?
difficult looking after
It's already hectic.
All right. Well, thank you for that, Doctor. Let us go to Pretoria. We've got Betty on the line. Good afternoon, Betty. Welcome to Afternoon Express. What is your question?
Hello, how are you?
Very well, thank you.
I'm fine, thanks. I would like to ask the doctor if, like, she said that if you breastfeed your child, the child will get HIV. So I want to know if you pump your milk out and then you breastfeed the child from the bottle, maybe the next day, is she still gonna get the HIV?
All right. Well, thank you, Betty. Did you hear the question, Doctor?
I did.
All right. Thank you very much, Betty.
So the risk would be the same, and in fact it would possibly be even higher, because you're then introducing bottles that need to be washed and need to be sterilized when you're expressing breast milk. And really the key is for women to be taking antiretrovirals so that the level of HIV in their blood and that's going into the breast milk is really low, and then the risk of transmitting to the baby is very, very low.
Shimmy, have you had any experiences in your community of people?
Yeah, HIV is a very
with HIV?
personal topic to me. I have somebody in my family that is currently HIV positive. And I also have people that I've said goodbye to that has had the disease, you know, and I have taken it upon myself a couple of years ago when I created a show that kind of spoke about awareness around issues like HIV. So I'm very much involved in making people aware, and especially using comedy to kind of really get, you know, the communication going around serious issues like this. And by using, you know, a style like comedy, I find that people suddenly become much more open, especially in communities like Worcester, like the flats, in township communities, where it's still kind of seen, you know, there's a lot of guilt and shame that goes with these kinds of things the moment somebody is diagnosed.
Absolutely.
You know, and my focus has always been with comedy or with my art is to really get people to understand that you're not being punished. It's nothing that you have done
To deserve it.
to deserve it, but you can prevent it.
I love that.
Prevention.
I love that. And I mean,
there are things that you can do to prevent it. Early detection. You can live a healthy life. It's not a death sentence.
That is what the show is about today.
It's not a death
Motivation
sentence,
Monday. So if you're watching SABC3 right now, we want you to get motivated to, you know, get a little bit more educated about HIV today. But all our guests are still in the loft. We have to take a quick commercial break. But after the break, Elvis performs live in the loft. You definitely do not want to miss this. We'll be right back.
My man.
Express yourself.
Welcome back to Afternoon Express. Here to perform his latest single, Die Hemel, which is climbing the charts across South Africa. Here is the fabulous Elvis Blue.
I want to take you to shows. That's a nice intro. Thank you.
Thanks.
Ek dink weer terug toe ek jou ontmoet het. Alles was goed. Ja, die lewe was reg. Ons harte was vol, maar ons hande was leeg. Daar was soveel wat ons nog moes leer. Ja, die hemel was oop, al die deure was toe, maar die hemel was oop. Ja, die hemel was oop, al die deure was toe, maar die hemel was oop. Ek kyk vandag in my kinders se oë, elke liewe asem 'n geskenk van bo. Hulle gaan nog vir ons lag en ons gaan oor hulle huil, maar nie een oomblik wil ek ruil. Ja, die hemel was oop, al die deure was toe, maar die hemel was oop. Ja, die hemel was oop, al die deure was toe, maar die hemel was oop. Kom leg jou hande op, leg jou hande op, al die deure was toe, maar die hemel was oop. Leg jou hande op, leg jou hande op, al die deure was toe, maar die hemel was oop. Leg jou hande op, leg jou hande op, al die deure was toe, maar die hemel was oop. Leg jou hande op, leg jou hande op, al die deure was toe, maar die hemel was oop. Ja, die hemel was oop, al die deure was toe, maar die hemel was oop. Ja, die hemel was oop, al die deure was toe, maar die hemel was oop.
Thank you, ladies. Thank you. Amazing.
Elvis, come and have a seat with us because we have to feed you after a performance
Very
like
nice,
that.
ladies.
You
Thank you.
deserve
I'm
all.
good.
You're just going to use your hands, Jane Dizzle.
I am. You don't mind
Yeah,
my
I'm very
hands, do you?
hungry now,
They're
very
very
hungry.
clean. I promise you. I washed them before I decided to serve you with my hands.
So beautiful.
One for you.
Okay.
Take one. There you
Thank
go.
you. Thanks so much.
Okay.
Well,
How
Jeannie,
tasty.
thank you very much for dinner, darling.
My pleasure. I slaved for an hour
Dini,
in the
did you
kitchen.
cook this yourself, darling?
Yeah, I made it all by myself.
I need to
I'm very
Instagram
interested
this.
to know what that song's about, actually.
It's about looking back on your life and seeing how sometimes
The
doors
doors
are
were closed, but the heavens were open.
They were always open.
love it.
Beautiful. Well, Elvis, thank you so much for coming through. Next time, please bring your two gorgeous daughters to come in the loft and hang with us.
I reckon I will.
You should.
If you keep serving us things like this.
It's what we do here, really.
Thank you, guys.
Shimmy, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank
We've
you
loved
so
having
much.
you.
I hope there's no
Yeah.
jokes in this. Hey, it's all edible, right? I feel like I'm being tricked.
Do you know, whenever I do have dinner parties, my friends are always a little bit skeptical. But this is really good. I had the wonderful Claire and Stanley,
And I
who's
see
definitely...
both our guests sent
Okay,
each
but
other
what's
the
with the
memo
knife
to
and
wear black
fork? I mean,
shirts.
honestly.
I don't know what else to do. I'm on TV. I can go crazy if you want me to.
Watch when the cameras stop rolling, she's going to tuck in.
Well, anyway, Jean, thank you so much to our beautiful
you.
guests. Thank you very, very much for coming. And, of course, to Dr. Davies for that, all that motivation on this Motivation Monday right here on SABC3. And, yes, don't forget, for the recipes on how to make Jeannie's delicious chicken buns, afternoonexpress.co.za.
And I cannot wait to watch your show at the Cape Town
When
Fun
are you
Festival.
coming? Don't just say that, hey?
Well, when can I come?
You can
well,
come
when can
anytime.
anybody
You
come?
can come at any time. We're
Anybody
running
can
until the 16th of August.
Okay.
Yes, and we are having a show on Women's Day.
Oh,
So that's the 9th of August. That's a Sunday. Bonanga, know that you available, girl.
And it's going to be extra
I'll
funny.
be her date.
It's going to be extra. It's going to be extra funny. If you want to see women control comedy, come and watch.
Fantastic.
Awesome.
There you go. To all the wonderful women watching, have a wonderful Women's Month. Mwah. Good night.
Happy eating.
Happy eating.
Lucas Sithole, a South African sports star who has achieved international success after surviving a tragic accident. And in the next installment of our Go Green Sustainability series, we chat to a recycling specialist from Petco.
Another feel-good production.
Join us next time for more fabulous fun inspired by First for Women on Afternoon Express. For an insurance quote, call 0861 11 18 44 or SMS FIRST to 49267.